Welcome. I am Attila, and today I would like to speak about the fascinating connection between Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People and the teachings of the Kybalion and the 7 Hermetic Principles. On the surface, one is a practical guide to personal and professional effectiveness grounded in psychology and business. The other is an ancient philosophical and esoteric text delving into the fundamental nature of reality. But as we will discover, both offer profound insights into how we can navigate our lives and interact with the world around us. Already at the beginning, in the introduction, Covey mentions a few important things that are connected with these principles. First, the importance of paradigms and principles and how it can affect our perspective we see the world and react to it. Secondly, that everything comes from within and we are changing from the inside. This is the principle of correspondence, as above, so below, as within, so without. And that there are no shortcuts for this transformation, as there is a process for inner alchemy. And that looking at challenges as opportunities, and this is the art of mental transmutation. All these above statements from Covey mentioned in my previous 2 videos. Habit 1. Be proactive and the principle of mentalism. It is about taking responsibility for our choices and our lives. Covey emphasizes that we are not simply products of our circumstances, but we have the power to choose our responses. This resonates deeply with the principle of mentalism from the Kybalion, which states the all is mind, the universe is mental. Both highlight the power of our thoughts and mental frameworks in shaping our experiences. Mentalism suggests that the universe at its core is mental in nature. Our thoughts therefore are incredibly powerful, shaping our experiences and our reality. Being proactive in this light becomes an active exercise of our mental faculties. We choose our thoughts, our attitudes, and our actions rather than being passively dictated by external forces. Covey says that harsh circumstances trigger the change of paradigms, which is mentioned in my second video that inner transformation often begins with a profound realization, usually triggered by a significant challenge, a moment of discomfort, or even suffering. This is the foundation of inner transmutation, realizing that your outer world is a projection of your inner state. And often the shift begins with discomfort, with a crisis, with loss, with suffering. But these are initiations, opportunities to change paradigms to awaken. Covey refers to Viktor Frankl, discovered in the darkest of circumstances that man's ultimate freedom lies in the power to choose his attitude through the power of mind and the power of imagination. Habit 2. Begin with the end in mind and the principle of correspondence. The second habit encourages us to define our values, our mission, and our goals. By having a clear vision of where we want to go, we can align our actions accordingly. This mirrors the principle of correspondence, famously stated, as above, so below, as below, so above. This principle suggests a fundamental harmony and connection between different planes of existence. By visualizing our desired outcome, our above, we create a mental blueprint that guides our action in the physical realm, our below. Our internal vision influences our external reality. Covey states we create everything twice, first on the mental plane and then on the physical, which is the true definition of the principle of mentalism. Everything we see is a product of our collective consciousness and it was imagined first and then created from matter, which is mentioned in my first video. In the Kybalion, this is symbolized with the rabies, which symbolizes the result of the alchemical great work, the Philosopher's Stone, where the individual has undergone a profound transformation, achieving spiritual growth and enlightenment. Represents the integration of opposites and the balance of energies. Embellies the idea of being a complete and whole individual with all aspects of the self integrated and balanced. Suggests a connection to the divine, representing the ultimate goal of alchemical transformation, the union with the divine. Furthermore, Covey writes about the importance of proactivity. As a proactive person, we express who we want to become and the life we want to live. However, if you act reactive, others will design your life. He mentions that the meaning of life comes from within, just like everything else. And about the power of visualization and affirmation in alignment with our mission and values to start each day with intuition, know where you are and where you want to be, and make sure every action brings you closer to your goal. Habit 3. Put first things first. And the principle of cause and effect. Put first things first is about prioritizing important tasks over urgent ones, focusing on effectiveness. This aligns beautifully with the principle of cause and effect, which states that every cause has its effect, every effect has its cause. By consciously choosing to focus on what truly matters, the first things, we are setting in motion causes that will lead to meaningful effects in our lives. Conversely, constantly reacting to urgent but less important matters keeps us trapped in a cycle of effects without ever addressing the underlying causes. We can find here very fascinating connections again, since we were just discussing about the pleasure versus sacrifice in my previous video, and in this chapter Covey writes about it. We all must go through either the pain of regret, which is short-term gratification and regret on long term, or the pain of discipline, which is short-term discomfort and growth and fulfillment on long term. If we choose sacrifice over pleasure, we can control the result. However, if we choose pleasure instead of sacrifice, we won't be able to control the result. Next, Covey explains that the first habit basically means that you are the creator, which is the principle of mentalism, and the second habit is the mental creation through the power of imagination, which is the principle of correspondence. And from these two, you will get the third habit, the physical creation, which is the principle of cause and effect. This habit is about discipline, putting first things first, is self-management aligned with cosmic law. When you choose high leverage, meaningful actions over fleeting distractions, you become the cause, not the effect of your destiny. Habit 4. Think win-win and the principle of polarity. Think win-win advocates for seeking mutual benefit in all interactions. It's about creating solutions where everyone feels like they gain something. This resonates with the principle of polarity, which states that everything is dual, everything has poles, everything has its pair of opposites. The principle of polarity reminds us that seemingly opposing forces are often just two sides of the same coin. Win-win thinking moves beyond a binary and seeks to find a harmonious point between these polarities, creating a solution that benefits all involved. Win-win aims to transcend opposing forces, finding potential new solutions that harmonize seemingly conflicting interests. In alchemy, this is referred as the tertium quid, an unidentified third element that is a combination with two known ones. Win-win thinking is based on the paradigm that everyone gets enough, and one person's success does not necessarily mean others' loss or failure. Habit 5. Seek first to understand, then to be understood, and the principle of vibration. This habit emphasizes the importance of empathy and active listening before expressing our own views. This connects with the principle of vibration, which states that nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates. This principle suggests that everything in the universe is in state of a constant motion and vibration, each with its own unique frequency. When we truly listen and seek to understand someone else's perspective, we are essentially tuning into their vibrational state, allowing for deeper connection and more harmonious communication. Every thought, every word, every feeling has a frequency, and to connect with others, you must first attune to their vibration. Empathy is not passive, it is a vibrational act. To listen deeply is to resonate with others' inner world. Habit 6. Synergize and the principle of gender. Synergy is about the power of teamwork and creative cooperation, where the whole becomes greater than the sum of its parts. This finds a fascinating parallel with the principle of gender, which, in the context of the Kybalion, refers to the generative and creative force present in all things, both masculine and feminine principle working in harmony. Synergizing involves bringing different forces, perspectives, strengths, and approaches together to create a new and often unexpected result. It's the dynamic interplay of diverse energies leading to creation and innovation, much like the harmonious interaction of the masculine and feminine principles described in the principle of gender, which is about generating and creation. Synergy means that the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. The relationship between the parts itself is a separate part of its own. The essence of synergy is appreciating and respecting differences and combining strengths to offset weaknesses. This requires faith as you move out of your comfort zone and explore new things. Covey emphasizes that we can find synergy in nature everywhere and synergy in communication. When you communicate with a focus on synergy, you open your mind, heart, and expressiveness to new possibilities, new alternatives, and new options. Synergy leads to transformation from transaction. The essence of synergy is the appreciation of differences, and the key for appreciating is the realization people see the world not as it is, but as they are. Collecting data from different perspectives, such as connecting with others and see and understand their experiences, will help to see the bigger picture. Inner synergy is to embrace and utilize your analytical and your creative sides and parts. Habit 7. Sharpen the saw and the principle of rhythm. Finally, Habit 7 emphasizes the importance of continuous self-renewal of physical, mental, and spiritual dimensions. This aligns beautifully with the principle of rhythm, which states that everything flows out and in, everything has its tides, all things rise and fall, the pendulum swing manifests in everything. The principle of rhythm highlights the cyclical nature of life. There are periods of activity and periods of rest, times for growth and times for reflection. Sharpening the saw acknowledges this natural rhythm, recognizing that to maintain effectiveness in the long run, we must invest in regular renewal and avoid burnout by working in harmony with these natural cycles. So, if the most successful people are practicing these 7 habits, then in essence they are aligning with the very universal laws that govern all of life. What was once ancient wisdom has simply been rebranded into modern productivity. By understanding these connections, we can gain a deeper appreciation for the universal principles that underlie personal effectiveness and spiritual growth. I trust you enjoyed the video and find it useful.